Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris had her little 60 minutes interview, and it was a total disaster. And the interviewer actually really went after her. And apparently, we got a little bonus with Walz also being interviewed, and they went after Walz as well. But there are a lot of clips from this. I reacted to a clip last night on my stream. I couldn't find it, but there was a clip where she sounded legitimately like AI. I mean, it was really scary. Like she was like a robot. But you can see, let's go over this, talking about how Kamala was kind of handed, they talk about how, oh, they're fighting for democracy. Trump wants to take it away January 6th. Well, I mean, they handed Kamala Harris the nomination without getting any votes because Biden was so bad in the debate. And so let's see what she has to say about this.
Served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination. You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
Huh.
President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show.
He didn't make any decision. They made it for him. They forced him out. They wanted him to drop out a month before or like weeks before he actually did. That's why there was so much pressure on CNN. That's why Nancy Pelosi admitted they threatened Biden on CNN.
Is rare among leaders, which was to put country.
The decision was you're going to drop out with dignity or we're going to 25th Amendment you and ruin your legacy. That was his decision.
Before self. And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates and to have been elected the Democratic nominee. I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life.
But what about the voters?
To fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
But I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in...
Well, I mean, she just said she wanted to fight for democracy. He just asked her a question about why they skirted democracy in terms of electing her by not going through a democratic process with voters electing her. And she still references democracy in talking about her not being democratically elected. So it's just amazing. Kamala Harris obliterated by 60 minutes. This dude was mogging her. He was mocking her. This was great. My economic plan would strengthen America. All right, let's just watch this.
You want to expand the child tax credit.
Yes, I do.
You want to give tax breaks to first-time home buyers.
Yes.
And people starting small businesses.
Correct.
How are you going to pay for that?
My economic plan would strengthen America's economy.
And they edited that, dude. Dude, they edited that. So it's already come out that, like, I guess they showed a longer form interview and then they released a 60 minutes version or whatever. And you could tell that was edited because that was not an organic, like, she had said something before that. And then, like, you can tell after he finishes saying this.
I'm going to pay for that.
My economic plan would strengthen America's economy. His would weaken it.
But pardon me, Madam Vice President, the question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Oh, man. All right, let's see this.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles.
And so that's one of the things that's happening. And even Trump has talked about Iran. Listen, this is all I'm going to say about Iran. This is bad signs all around. Republicans, Democrats, Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes talking about Iran. It's interesting considering Iran became $100 billion richer. Well, yeah, what happened was they unfroze a bunch of their assets, but she talks about Iran, and apparently that got cut out of the actual interview. This was only on the 60 Minutes overtime version of it, so that's also interesting as well. Notable answer not included in the 60 Minutes broadcast last night was in the overtime was that Iran was the greatest adversary. I mean, well, there's a number of ways to talk about that, but I would certainly say China is the number one adversary by far for the United States, and then probably Russia number two. If you're talking about power, Iran, I mean, even like you would think they would say Russia because considering Russia actually invaded another country in 2022. So weird answer there. You've also got, this is, I guess, Walz getting interviewed a little bit.
In your debate with J.D. Vance, you said, I'm a knucklehead at times.
Yep.
And I think you were referring to the time that you said that you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square unrest when you were not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of misrepresentation, isn't that more than just being a knucklehead?
I think folks know who I am, and I think they know the difference between someone expressing emotion, telling a story, getting a date wrong rather than a pathological liar like Donald Trump.
But I think it comes down to the question of whether you can be trusted to tell the truth.
Yeah, well, I can. I think I can. I will own up to being a knucklehead at times, but the folks close.
So he still goes with the knucklehead thing as to why he's not even taking accountability for it. He still doesn't take accountability. This is the borders our thing. This was the big one.
I've been covering the border for years. And so I know this is not a problem that started with your administration.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump.
Right. They had a bunch of executive orders. They said Trump's border policy was too strict, and their administration was the cause for this problem, 100%.
Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem.
And that was edited
and
too.
And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was, what?
From day one, they've been offering solutions to what problem? There was no problem. They created a problem. On day one, they eliminated all the solutions that Trump had through executive orders. What she's saying doesn't even make sense. From day one, we've been offering solutions. There was no problem that needed a solution on day one. On day one, the border crossings were at an extremely low rate. It was during the pandemic. Trump had all the new executive orders that he had put in to make the border safer. I mean, that was what he ran on in 2016. And by 2020, it was very low. Some of that was because of the pandemic, but most of that was because, and liberals would say, Trump has very hard border laws. It stopped the flow of immigration. They said that was a bad thing and that Trump was racist. So what she says, it just doesn't make any sense. From day one, there was no problem on day one. What are you talking about? There's a solution. There was no problem. If there's no problem, there doesn't need to be a solution. Just keep the same policies so the immigration doesn't get worse. You got rid of all the policies. That's what he's grilling her on right now.
Was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem.
Again, she's not answering the question. We're not talking about the policies you're proposing right now. We're talking about the policies from Trump that you took away to make the illegal immigration worse. But if she knows this, she's not this dumb. I know people are like, oh, she knows. This is just pathetic. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the numbers today, because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
Because it was at an all-time high.
We have cut the flow of fentanyl by half.
So they're talking about they were so bad, they've cut their horrible numbers in half. They're still way higher than when Trump was in office. So it's like, oh yeah, we were the worst ever, but now we're only second worst. That's basically what she's saying.
But we need Congress to be able...
No, it's not the question. It's not about 2023, 2024... Trump blocking a bill to help the border, which would have given money to Ukraine. I wonder if he talks about that. He's doing a good job grilling her on this, but again, it's just, you need, with her, you have to tell her, please forget about 2023 and 2024. We're talking about when you and Biden got in and you got rid of all the Trump policy on the wall, which made it very easy for illegal immigration to happen when no illegal immigration was happening during the Trump administration. Forget about 2023 and 2024. We're not talking about that. It's almost like you have to say that with her to even get her to try and answer, to try and trap her, because she'll just keep talking about, oh my, we got this bipartisan deal. No, it only has $60 billion for Ukraine. It only has $14 billion for Israel. It's totally bipartisan. Yeah, Republicans support that for sure. Bipartisan deal. It looks like this is what they cut up. Kamala Harris is, let's see what they did here.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that
okay, so that was her actual answer. The TV answer, which she sounded horrible. She sounded totally clueless. Let's see what they actually played or showed on TV.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary.
So, I mean, she seems totally unpresidential, completely disheveled, not even ready to answer the question, can't even speak. And then, of course, they edit it.
Necessary for the United States to be.
And they try and make it somewhat, palatable. So, it was a disaster interview. We've got another clip here. No one should be able to take for granted that they can just declare themselves a candidate and automatically receive support. I mean, why would you say this?
A quarter of registered voters still say they don't know you. They don't know what makes you tick. And why do you think that is? What's the disconnect?
It's an election, Bill. And I take it seriously that I have to earn everyone's vote. This is an election for President of the United States. No one should be able to
But how did you become a candidate? Did you earn everyone's vote to become a candidate?
take for granted that they can just declare themselves a candidate.
No. Dude, there is no way. Why would you say this? She says you should not take for granted that you can just declare yourselves a candidate. They literally just declared her the nominee. Oh my God, dude. What?
And automatically receive support. You have to earn it.
What if he was just like, but isn't that what you just did in the primary process? What if he said that? What would she say?
And that's what I intend to do.
Oh, this is a disaster interview, man. This is a disaster. Oh, this.
Why did you get it?
I have a Glock.
So what kind of gun do you own, and when and why did you get it?
I have a Glock. And I've had it for quite some time. And I mean, look, Bill, my background is in law enforcement. And so there you go.
Have you ever fired it?
Yes. Of course I have.
There's the laugh.
At a shooting range.
At a shooting range. There's the laugh. But they're trying to make her appear more, pro Second Amendment. She owns a gun. She's not going to take your gun. So they're doing this whole thing. Oh, she owns a gun. I mean, maybe she does, but that's why they're trying to do it. It's like she worked at McDonald's, that type of thing, trying to appeal to the middle class. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.